The obsidian chamber of the Galactic Council hung suspended in the void between three stars, its crystalline walls refracting light into prismatic patterns that had witnessed 10,000 years of diplomatic discourse. Maya stood at the observation deck of the Leviathan, her reflection ghostly against the viewport, watching the alien structure pulse with bioluminescent communication. Her fingers drummed against the tactical console, each tap a microsecond of compressed anxiety. "They're stalling," she said, her voice cutting through the bridge's hushed tension. William didn't look up from his neural interface, the synaptic crown around his temples flickering with streams of data. "They've been stalling since we crossed the hegemony border. The Council has never encountered a species that developed Titan-class vessels before achieving faster-than-light capability." His eyes, enhanced with quantum processors, flickered between wavelengths invisible to baseline humans. "We broke their paradigm." The Leviathan was humanity's answer to a question the galaxy had forgotten to ask. 60 kilometers from bow to stern, her hull was constructed from collapsed matter held in quantum suspension, a technology humanity had stolen from physics itself rather than inherited from galactic benefactors. Her engines didn't bend space. They convinced reality that the ship was already at its destination, a philosophical approach to faster-than-light travel that had caused 3 Council physicists to resign their posts in existential crisis. Maya had designed the weapon systems. She'd been 23 when Earth's satellites detected the hegemony's first scout ships, 41 when humanity realized they were being evaluated for conquest or extinction, and 47 when she'd weaponized Hawking radiation. The Leviathan's main cannon could create and collapse micro-black holes in sequence, turning enemy vessels into spaghettified debris before their crews even registered the attack. "Incoming transmission," William announced. "Full Council assembly, they want visual." "Of course they do." Maya straightened her uniform, the adaptive fabric reading her biosignatures and adjusting its formal configurations. "Let them see what they've been afraid of." The holographic projection materialized 7 species, each representing stellar empires that measured their territories in parsecs. The Viren matriarch, her crystalline carapace refracting shiplight into rainbow cascades. The Thal hierophant, a cloud of sentient gas contained within a magnetic exoskeleton. The Kareth ambassador, their chitinous form bristling with translator nodes. 4 others, equally alien, equally ancient, and equally terrified. Maya saw it in their biorhythms, in the way their translators lagged before converting their speeches, in the studied neutrality of their diplomatic protocols. They were predators encountering an apex specimen, herbivores scenting a tiger. "Humanity requests formal recognition," Maya began, her words encoded into 17 languages and 3 nonverbal communication spectrums. "We seek trade, cultural exchange, and mutual defense agreements." The Viren matriarch's primary eye cluster dilated. When she spoke, her voice resonated through harmonic crystals. "Your vessel violates accords established before your species discovered fire. No civilization is permitted military craft exceeding Class VII specifications. Your Leviathan defies categorization." "Then expand your categories," William interjected smoothly. His role was diplomat, but his enhanced mind processed threat assessments at quantum speeds. "Humanity developed in isolation. We knew nothing of your accords. When we discovered we weren't alone, we'd already built our defenses." "Against what?" The Thal hierophant's electromagnetic field crackled with agitation. "You faced no external threats. Your system was marked fallow, designated for evaluation in another 15,000 cycles." The silence that followed carried the weight of revelation. Maya felt her jaw tighten. 15,000 cycles. They'd been watching, waiting, deciding humanity's fate like farmers debating whether to harvest early or let the crop ripen. The anger was pure, crystalline, and she channeled it into cold precision. "We built the Leviathan," she said, each word deliberate, because every species that reaches for the stars does so knowing they might not be alone. We built her because hope is a beautiful thing, but preparation is survival. We built her because when we finally heard your languages in our radio telescopes, we understood one fundamental truth. The galaxy is not governed by the benevolent. It is governed by the powerful. She gestured, and William triggered the tactical display. The Leviathan schematics rotated in holographic space. Every weapon system, every defensive grid, every technological achievement that had required humanity to rebuild physics from first principles. Our Hawking radiation cannons can dismantle a planet's core in 14 minutes. Our quantum shielding can withstand a supernova's initial burst. Our engines achieve 0.99 light speed through mathematical persuasion rather than brute force. We cracked quantum consciousness, solved the three-body problem, and weaponized entropy itself. Maya leaned forward. Not because we intended war, but because we refused to be victims. The Kareth ambassador's translator clicked rapidly. You comprehend what you've become. Your species numbered 8 billion when you launched this vessel. You sacrificed an entire generation's resources for a single ship. This is madness. This is insurance, William corrected. Earth's GDP dropped 43% during construction. We rationed water, food, rare minerals. Every human being alive contributed something to the Leviathan. My grandmother donated her wedding ring for its copper. Maya's nephew died in the lithium mines that powered its first reactor. He paused, letting that sink in. We didn't build a warship. We built a monument to survival. And yes, we'll build 19 more. The council chamber erupted in multispectral chaos. The Viren matriarch's carapace flushed crimson. The Thal Hierophant destabilized momentarily, his magnetic containment flickering. The Kareth ambassador's chemical signaling went haywire, releasing pheromones that probably translated to abject horror. Maya watched them fracture, these ancient civilizations that had grown comfortable in their hierarchies, their protocols, their assumption that technological development followed predictable curves. Humanity had arrived not as supplicants but as equals, armed, dangerous, and utterly unwilling to bow. You cannot, the Viren matriarch began. We already have, Maya interrupted. The question isn't what we're capable of. You're looking at it. The question is, what kind of galaxy do you want to live in? She pulled up another display, trade routes, cultural databases, scientific journals. We're offering everything we've learned. Our mathematics, our physics, our art and literature. We're offering partnership. But understand this clearly, we're not asking permission to exist. We're informing you that we do. The silence stretched, broken only by the ambient hum of the Leviathan's quantum processors cycling through probability matrices. Finally, the Thal Hierophant spoke, his electromagnetic voice subdued. Your vessel, the name, Leviathan, a creature from your mythology, a beast of primordial chaos. William smiled, though there was no humor in it. In our oldest stories, Leviathan represented something God himself had to contain, something beautiful and terrible, something that proved creation had teeth. We named her honestly, Maya added, because we wanted you to understand. Humanity arrives with open hands and clenched fists. Choose which you'll shake. The Viren matriarch's eye clusters cycled through spectrums. When she spoke again, her harmonic voice carried something that might have been respect. The council requires deliberation. Your request for recognition will be evaluated. Take your time, Maya said. We'll be here, all 60 kilometers of us. The transmission ended. In the resulting quiet, William deactivated his neural crown, wincing as the connection severed. Think they'll accept? Maya turned back to the viewport, watching the council chamber's lights pulse with frantic communication. They don't have a choice. We've shown them that evolution isn't linear, that desperation breeds innovation, and that the prey species they were planning to evaluate in 15,000 years just became the apex predator. "We could have been more diplomatic," William observed. "We could have been corpses," Maya countered. "Every species in that council rose to power by being first, strongest, or most ruthless. We're none of those things. We're the species that looked at an impossible problem and rebuilt mathematics until it became possible. That terrifies them more than our weapons." Below, the Leviathan's corridors hummed with 8,000 crew members, engineers, scientists, soldiers, dreamers. Each one a volunteer. Each one willing to cross the galaxy in humanity's first and possibly last Titan-class vessel. Maya thought of her nephew, buried in Chilean soil, his life traded for refined lithium. She thought of her grandmother's generation, who'd lived through rationing so severe that chocolate became legend. She thought of every human being who'd looked at the stars and wondered what waited there. "Status report," she commanded. "All systems optimal," William replied. "Hawking cannons charged, quantum shields at maximum. We're ready for whatever they decide." "Good." Maya's reflection in the viewport showed a woman who'd aged decades and years, who'd turned peaceful mathematics into weapons of cosmic destruction, who'd helped build something that could crack worlds. Because we didn't come this far to fail. The council would deliberate. They would argue, threaten, posture. But eventually, they would recognize what they'd refused to acknowledge, that humanity had arrived, had proven itself not through compliance but through capability, and that the galaxy's ancient power structures had just encountered their first serious challenge in 10,000 years. The Leviathan waited, silent and patient, a monument to human stubbornness wrapped in collapsed matter and quantum probability. And on her bridge, Maya and William stood watch, guardians of a species that had learned the galaxy's hardest lesson before even leaving their solar system. In the cosmos, no one respects the weak. They only respect those strong enough to demand respect and wise enough to offer peace from a position of power. The stars burned cold and distant, and humanity had finally joined their number.